In this video, we will see where this formula came from. This is the quotient rule, and it says that if we have two functions, or the quotient of first function over the second function, and its derivative is equal to the second function times the derivative of the first minus the first times, this is times the first is the derivative of the second all over the second function squared. So if we say that f of x is equal to u and g of x is equal to v, then this will just equal to v du minus u dv over v squared. Alright, so from the product rule, we know that the derivative of the product of two functions is equal to the first times the second derivative of the second plus the second times derivative of the first. So if we apply that idea to this one, our first step would be convert g of x into something that would look like this. So if we make g of x becomes g of x raised to negative 1, and then f of x will still remain f of x. Now, we have followed this format, right? Because if we have 1 over x, that's equal to x negative 1. Alright? So that's just what we did here. After that, we apply that to the product rule. So our first function is still f of x. But the second, this one, the derivative is, of course, the derivative of this. That's chain rule right here. So just a short recap. Chain rule is just if we have, for instance, this one, its derivative is just copy the numerator, the exponent, and then subtract 1 from it. So 3 minus 1 is 2, and then take the derivative of the inside. Derivative of what? X plus 2 is 1. So this is how chain rule works. In our case, g of x raised to negative 1 will then become negative 1. So the exponent times g of x, the negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. Then the derivative of inside. Our inside function is g of x. So its derivative is g prime of x. So this is equal to g of prime of x in our case. Alright. So with that, we can substitute that here. So that's negative 1 times g of x. Negative 1 times g of x raised to negative 2 times g prime of x. So this one is literally this one. And then plus, again, our g of x is this one. So this is g of x raised to negative 1. And then the derivative of our first function, f of x, is f prime of x. Right? So this is now the quotient rule. If we simplified it further, we'll have this one, same as saying like x to negative 2, and that would be equal to 1 over x squared. So we'll have this, multiply the negative to this 2, so negative f of x times g prime of x. So this one, you can see, and this, and this, and that's all over g of x squared. Alright, and plus, alright, so this, multiply this to, this 3, negative 1 f of x and g prime of x, and then move g of x raised to negative 2 below. So muna. Then plus this term right here. Again, moving g of x raised to negative 1 below, we'll get f prime of x all over g of x raised to negative 1. Raised to 1. So getting its common term, which is g of x, we'll just multiply it by g of x here. Alright? And so below we'll have g of x squared as our common denominator. And then above, we can flip these two, so that we'll have f of prime of x, g of x, minus f of x, g prime of x. Alright. Or, we can write this first, g of x, since multiplication is interchangeable, then minus f of x, g prime of x, all over g of x squared. So this is the quotient rule. Thanks for watching.